Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. This is going to be a little bit different because usually what we do is we talk about the day's events, what is happening, if there's anything major, a little bit minor, or where the markets are going. Today, we're going to go in a different direction and just talk about one chain, and it's called Cardano. Now, just like the thumbnail and title suggests, real-world assets and DeFi, I think, are going to run away with it. However, Cardano, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, is sucking. It is having a real hard problem with moving forward. So what I want to do is just take a look at the biggest protocol that they have, which is Indigo. So if you love Cardano, this is going to be a great video. If you hate Cardano, this is also going to be a great video. Just stick around with me and I'll explain in a second. So first of all, we have to be honest with ourselves when we take a look at this. And if we take a look at like real world adoption, it's great that we have all these wallets and it's great that we have all these people, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, how many of these wallets are real wallets? How many of these are real people? Because I got to tell you, there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that are very just like shenanigans. So what would really bring the point home is who's paying for this, because money talks and BS walks. And if we take a look at this, is from DeFi Llama. This is all the chains and all the fees. And let me see if I can, hopefully you can see that. Well, it's kind of small. Let me just zoom in here. I want to show you that the top chain for the last 30 days in fees, not 24 hours, 30 days. I don't really care about a day time frame. Tron is the #1 chain taking in fees. And I got to tell you, Tron just had a vote by their DAO to actually reduce fees. So now this just took place, I think I want to say like 10 days ago, but it's still over the 30 days did pretty darn good, beating out ETHEREUM, which is massive because everything's built. I mean, you have so many different projects built on ETHEREUM. That's 43.69 million. But then you say, Rob, that's not the point. The point for all these different people to use this is for low transaction fees because they want to bring them in as cheap as possible. Well, I will tell you that one thing about Solana, and whether you love it or hate it, it's irrelevant. It's cheap and it's super fast. And yes, there are a lot of transactions that actually fail. Go take a look at DB Crypto, it'll tell you all about it. But even with all those things that are going on, and then what is a vote, what is a non-vote, is this real or not, it's still getting paid. Fees, 42.62 million. That's a lot in fees for a lot of things that may or might not be happening. That means that somebody somewhere is paying for that to transact. Bitcoin, 13.7 million. Of course, it is the biggest. Not so many people are moving that around because I still don't believe that it's really that big as far as day-to-day transactions like people are telling me that it is. I just don't see that. Also, take a look at Binance Smart Chain. Extremely cheap Binance Smart Chain, 11.4 million. Base, have you used Base before? It's ridiculously cheap, and they took in 6.06 million. And then it kind of goes down from there. Arbitrum, 1.59, Sui, and so on and so forth. So we know that these chains are being used. They have revenue fees, people, institutions, whatever. They're all paying for it in some way, shape, or form. And if we can go down, Ton, Linea, I don't know, Chronos, man, Hedera, 59,000 per month, which, I mean, I'll take that. It's not bad. Ronin, LiteCoin. If you guys haven't taken a look at the squabble that is going on between LiteCoin and Ben from Into the Cryptoverse, you're missing out on a gold mine over on X. And LiteCoin and Ben have been going back and forth. This was the latest 2 hours ago. Heard Ben is starting his own anonymous trading site called Forehead. And Ben says, yeah, post that. That'll get people to buy your coin. Okay, I'm going off base, but you get the point. There's some funny things going on. You should check that out. And then we can keep going down. Psy, Ape, Chain, Etherlink, Blast, made 11. I don't know what the heck that is. All these things. Chili's, that's still around. That's a thing. Anyhow, where's Cardano? Let's take a look here. C-A-R-D-A-N. Okay. First of all, it's saying no fees. That cannot be correct. So let's just break it down on DeFi Llama and take a look at the DeFi transactions. Because again, over here, I cannot argue that there are other chains making a lot of funds and people are using it. However, if you take a look at the total value locked in DeFi, you got 367.23 million. Does that mean everybody's transacting on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis? No. This is what is locked up in decentralized finance, and there's different protocols for that, and here they all are. And #1 is Indigo. Then comes Splash Protocol, Strike, Denago, Bodega Market, MinSwap, okay, Sunday Swap, Wing Riders, Dexes, great. So I've got that. How about the revenue by protocol? And we take a look at revenue by protocol. Indigo, again, is number one. Revenue over 30 days, 143,000. So I don't know where the numbers are from this part as far as fees by chain. Indigo is on top of Cardano. I think it'd be there. 143,000. I mean, should be somewhere up there, but maybe that they are counting that in a different way, shape, or form. So I get it. So what I wanted to do is I sat down with the team at Indigo Protocol. And let me make this perfectly clear. I'm investing into Indigo Protocol because they have this thing called Chakra agents. Chakra agents are AI agents. AI agents, we are going to put them into Airbnb and VRBO where I have short-term rentals. And I'm going to use them to interact with my customers because I need an AI agent for it. So just so everybody knows, why did Rob pick Indigo? Well, first of all, it's the biggest. And second of all, I'm working with them directly. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. So without further ado, let's break this down. And this is it's a long discussion. This is roughly about 22 minutes, I want to say. So we're going to do this. Video will come on, and we'll be back to do a little Q&A. So let's get into it, shall we? Different projects that are being built on Cardano and revenue and Bitcoin DeFi. So I got two gentlemen from Indigo Protocol. I've got Dan and Cody, outreach and developers. Gentlemen, welcome to the show for, I think, the first time.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So we'll probably split this up, but let's go over it. What Indigo Protocol is and how things are going to work with Chakra. And then, of course, I mean, we can talk a little bit about price action, which I got to tell you, pretty good. I mean, altcoins kind of struggling at this point, but Indigo Protocol doing pretty good as far as like a micro or a small cap. So walk me through this. What is Indigo? How do I use this? And what's the utility here? Are people going to use this?
Yeah, Indigo is a decentralized synthetic asset platform where people are able to mint synthetic assets. So in Indigo's case, those would be called assets. And these can be really anything, big time real world asset potential as well. Yeah. And Indigo's flagship is iUSD among iBTC and iETH as well, which is currently the highest volume stablecoin on Cardano. And it's a synthetic asset minted through Indigo.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I'd like to say before we go on, just so everybody knows that I am investing into Indigo. I especially am excited about Chakra agents because this is going to be built for my short-term rentals, Airbnb and VRBO. And I know, like Cody, you've been dealing with some of that. As far as integration, it's been a real pain in the ass. So I appreciate you doing that, so I don't have to answer all these stupid questions from every single person that comes on there, and actually have an AI agent that can actually do that. It's kind of hard to believe that they still haven't done that. But Cody, what have you been problems with as far as like integrations and such before we get into like the Indigo base?
Yeah. So Verbo and Airbnb are very strict about integrations. I've been working very closely with them to get those integrations running as fast as possible, and so that we can get this AI agent through Chakra, because Chakra really tries to encompass the Web 2 and Web 3 world, so integrations with both. Trying to get Chakra to be able to launch an Airbnb and Verbo AI agent to help with tenants.
Gotcha. So yeah, I could really use the help. That is especially true because we've got a lot of different questions and I can't be there all the time. So let's back it up. Let's take Indigo. Walk me through how this works. I have my Lace wallet. So if I'm on the website, I'm going to guess launch Indigo.
Yeah, launch Indigo.
Okay, I'm right. And then I'm going to guess connect wallet. And this is, you know what? How about this? Dan, walk us through this part here. What is the utility here? CDPs, redemptions, stability pools, swap tokens, so on, INDY staking,
Yeah, easy. So Indigo offers, I would say, probably the most utility of any dApp on Cardano currently. Yep. It's been the longest in existence decentralized tool on Cardano. So like I said, we have our flagship iUSD. So that's the highest volume stablecoin. And it has also been the tightest peg stablecoin throughout all of the crazy volatility and stuff we've seen so far in the last year and a half, 2 years. And on top of that, there's plenty of places that you can use these I assets. So you can see there, like on the DEX lists, pretty much any major DEX on Cardano, there's liquidity pools that you can either mint these I assets or buy these I assets and go provide liquidity and earn rewards. There's also integrations with perps platforms on Cardano that you can utilize these I assets in, as well as you were mentioning on the left side of the screen, stability pools. So stability pools are core to Indigo. The entire system is over collateralized, right? And maybe Cody will talk a little bit about that as well, CDPs. But the system itself is entirely over collateralized. So when you provide I assets to the stability pool, you earn rewards. There's an incentive for providing that. And if there's large liquidations, you earn more rewards, a pro rata share of that liquidation.
Okay, well, looks good. We're going to have to talk about the treasury and how that's growing, but let's get to this utility part. So if I want to do something here, I'm going to guess like everything, connect a wallet.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So Cardano's got plenty of wallet options.
Oh.
So if you got Lace, you're good to go.
So, okay. So great. I have my Tomato Coin wallet connected here. What can I do?
Let's look at minting an I asset.
Okay.
Okay. So to do that, what do you want to do? iETH, iUSD, stablecoin? You want to have some exposure to all the Ethereum moves that you're talking a bit about?
Let's see what I have in here. Because right now, I've got a bunch of Tomato Coin. I cannot sell that. I'm sorry. I have Cardano, I have Indigo or INDY, Talos, and I have some IBTC and BiFi. So what can I do with those?
Yeah, so let's open up a CDP.
All right.
So go over to the left and scroll down. This is basically a big information page, but if you scroll down to positions, go over to Open CDP.
Okay.
That's where you really want to be.
And then for the people who aren't familiar, tell us what the CDP is, what it does.
Yeah. So a CDP is an over-collateralized loan, essentially. So what you do is you provide ADA as collateral, and in return, you mint some iUSD. And so one of the main benefits that Cardano and Indigo provide is the fact that, as you well know, Cardano provides staking rewards. So any ADA held in your wallet, you earn 2 to 3% on. Indigo is very unique in the fact that we allow you to keep those wallet staking rewards even when you open up a CDP. So even though you are giving your ADA up to a smart contract to manage your loan, you're still earning your 2 to 3% ADA return on that through your wallet. So you'll see basically 2 to 3% ADA returns.
Gotcha. Well, how about
just from the collateral. Just from the collateral.
Yeah, so let's do this, because I know people are going to say, and I'm going to say it, is like, you can't trust, you got to verify, right? And Dan, you were talking about the treasury beforehand. Let's talk about that. Where does the yield come from?
So fees are generated in the platform through its usage. So through minting fees, through interest. As I assets are used, those fees are generated and immediately go straight to the DAO treasury. And then to interact with that DAO treasury requires a vote. So if there's any, mission critical endeavor that the Indigo DAO wants to pursue, it requires approval by the DAO for those funds to be withdrawn and used.
Gotcha. And that would be right here, the DAO funds?
Yes.
ADA. Hey, so as far as like transaction costs, like I don't know if you guys can tell me, like if I just do a swap, what are we talking about as far as the transaction cost? Is it like, crazy Coinbase fees, or are we talking like something legitimate?
Yeah, so very good question. It is based on the DEX that you are doing the swap on. So our swap page acts as like an aggregator. That's aggregator. And each DEX had different fees. Our aggregator will find you the DEX with the best price and the lowest fees, and allow you to swap directly through our webpage.
Gotcha. Are these the actual charges right now for min swap 1.49 ADA? Sunday swap?
No, that's the price. Yeah, not the fee.
Oh, I was like, what the heck happened? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So let's go back to CDPs and let's open up a position here. Open CDP.
Yep. And then select which asset you want to open. I suggest IUSD. Nothing wrong with a little bit of stability, but it's all up to you.
Yeah. IUSD. I don't know if I have any.
Yeah. Well, you don't need any. All you need to do is provide your ADA.
All right. Collateral amount. Let's do 25%. 218 ADA. 85.61.
IUSD. Yeah. So then you can adjust your collateral ratio as well. So think about that as like LTV, loan to value. But it's, the inverse. So it's how over collateralized the asset is.
Gotcha. So I do 155, 175.
Yep. Yeah. So whatever your, risk tolerance is, 155 is closer to being able to be liquidated. Whereas, 175 or 200 would be further away. And
gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, it just, this is where, some strategy comes into play for users who, want to determine how long they want to have an open position, if they're doing a short-term play, if they're planning to provide liquidity for this or use it in perps, to, adjust their collateral ratio based off of their risk tolerance.
Gotcha. 175 it is. So let's see. So the collateral, I need 218 ADA, the debt 105, liquidation price. Let's hope it doesn't go that route. 52 cents.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
Yeah. Minting fee. Okay, here we go. So 0.12. Today, I'm not sure what the price of ADA. I think it's like 84 cents, 85 cents, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Give or take.
So, yeah, give or take. So we're looking at like 7 cents, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted to do it. Okay. So then we're here. I understand this transaction involves significant financial risk with losses on above open position. 0.12 interest paid from your CDB collateral. And then now, like you said, even though I have this in there, I still am earning some yield on the amount that I put in for ADA, correct?
Yep. You're earning your proof of stake rewards by being a ADA holder.
What that essentially means is whether the ADA is sitting in your wallet or whether the ADA is sitting in a CDP as collateral, you still earn the base amount of rewards no matter what. Great.
And these funds that I have, IUSD, I can use that and then go gamble and put it all on Tomato Coin.
Yes, exactly that, Rob. Yeah.
So then I don't know if you guys can see this, but Lace is going to come up. It's going to say, here's if you want to do this or not, confirm or no. Confirm, enter your wallet password, property or properties. And there you go. I mean, this one, we took really 20 seconds to do that. I'll take it. I'll take that.
And you've got full control over it. So you can add collateral, lower collateral, burn debt, take out more. It's completely in your control, and it's decentralized as well. So that's a big pro of it is the DAO being in control of everything.
Yeah, and it's up. So you can't beat that. Okay, so we got the CDPs. What else can we do?
Well, so you've got all the data there. So all the data on your current position. So that's valuable to look at for many people once they open up their CDP. That way they have a firm understanding of it. But now would be you've got a fork in the road of what you can choose to do with it. You can hold it, right? Betting on or just holding the IUSD. You can use it in a liquidity pool on one of the DEXs to earn rewards. You can use it in perps markets, or you can provide it to the stability pool. Got it. There's also strategies that you could implement for the brave out there. You can think of some of these loans as an opportunity to maybe mint a particular asset, trade it for another asset in hopes to eventually trade it back and gain the difference in that trade. Well, yeah, I got to start doing something. I got an interest rate of 10.29%, right? So, currently the lowest on Cardano. Not too bad. So let's do something with it. Let's do, like you said, how about stability pools? Anything we can do with that? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. That'll probably be the simplest. I like that. Stability pool. Okay, let's open an account. And then break it down for what's going on here with stability pools. What are people getting into?
Yeah, I can talk about that real quick. So Stability pools are basically a pool of funds that acts as a safety net for liquidations. So if your CDP was to be liquidated, what happens is the stability pool consumes that liquidation. So you can see here, you've highlighted the 2.5 million IUSD staked. So if you went and you provided a stake to IUSD in the IUSD stability pool, what would happen is you would provide your 100 IUSD, and if a liquidation would occur, your portion of the stake would be used for that liquidation, earning you a pro rata return of about 10% because you are liquidated at your 110% collateral ratio. So you would earn about 10% on your IUSD. So it's basically a way to act as a safety net for those liquidations.
Gotcha.
It ensures that the system stays over collateralized, but also for the user, let's say you've got $10 in the stability pool and a position is liquidated, and the minimum collateral ratio is 110. So that 10% chunk is what you get. So immediately, if you had, $10 worth of IUSD used, you would receive a pro rata share, which would be $11 in ADA.
Gotcha. And then I'm guessing for this account creation fee of 5 ADA, this is the one that goes to Treasury? And this is
that actually goes and is split across all the stability pool providers. So anytime anybody opens up a stability pool account, that 5 ADA is spread across all of them.
Man, well, people are lucky today. I'm putting in a whopping 78.88 USD across the accounts. Let me understand this transaction involves. And then what was so for this one, for the pool itself, where was the yield again?
The yield, so if you go back to the previous page, you could see the HRA that was provided. I think it was about 14% currently, if I'm not mistaken. 19%. So you're currently getting a 19% HRA, which is our APR.
This sounds good. I just do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll take loans and I'll put it in for another 9% plus. All right, let's open an account. And let's do 75. I understand this transaction. Carries significant financial risks. Open account. Fees, confirm. And here we go again. Billing transactions. Balancing.
Yeah.
Too bad. And of course, the editor will make this appear much faster.
Great.
But if you think about it, this is blazing fast against any bank or what we have currently. There's no way you get this anyplace else outside of Web3.
Yeah, and there are a lot of improvements coming to the speed of this. By the way, we're doing some pretty big web app refinement. So yeah, that should make.
That sounds good. What is the Wi-Fi password? Where is the door? What happened to my shoes? Whatever.
It's probably already sent to them when they first get their revenue deposited to the stability pool, which you'll see here shortly. And once that's done, you will have been deposited into the stability pool. So here's your create account request.
Okay.
And that will process pretty quickly, and then you'll see your position.
Perfect. And that, if I'm looking for my position, that'll just be if I'm looking for it later on the dashboard.
It's on the dashboard and on stability pools page. It's probably the best place to find it.
Gotcha. Okay. And not bad. 0.3%. What's the batcher and deposit? Do I get those back, or that's just
the deposit? You will. The batcher fee is a fee paid to MinSwap.
Ugh. Well, I remember when ADA was $3 a pop. That would be quite expensive, but right now it's only 84 cents. So give it $1.70, whatever. Click on swap. Got it all there. And then do you guys, because like we talk about, with your treasury and for the fees, do you guys get a difference of the fees and then that goes in the treasury? How does that work?
For this particular page, no fees are taken. We're trying to get you the best price. That is our goal. And we're trying to just make it easy for the user to enter the ecosystem.
That's very nice of you. Okay, so Now this is going to come up in Lace. I'm going to put in my password, and that's pretty fast. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I've got more INDY. Okay. And then
from there, you can stake your INDY, which also nets you some rewards. So if you go to the INDY staking page under Indigo DAO, you can see simply for staking INDY, you get a 9.8% HRA.
Damn, that's pretty good.
And that is in part ADA and in part more INDY. So you can compound your return because you get returns in INDY and in ADA.
So is that's a combination of let's say ADA is at 5.5%, and then INDY would be the rest of it up to 9.8, so 4.8%, 4.4%. Okay, gotcha. And then everybody, and I'm as a reminder, if you use my discount code, apparently you get 5% more or something like that.
Yeah. If you use Rob's affiliate code and you stake here for 90 days, you will earn 5%, an additional 5% on the INDY that you stake if you've purchased it through the web app.
Awesome. All right. So we got this. Now let's go through this process. So if I want to stake, where do I go?
It's way too simple. You got the deposit amount. You just select how much you want to deposit, and that's it.
Whoa, maybe not that much. Okay, 158. I have that much INDY? I've been buying, I didn't realize it. 316 INDY. Okay, that's 50%. Nah, let's just do 100. And
there you go.
Deposit. Confirm. Waiting for confirmation. Great. So
over time, you'll earn ADA rewards, and this is basically a prompt saying, "Hey, maybe in the future, buy INDY with your ADA rewards. Make it that even more cyclical."
Got it. Okay, great. Okay, so now we're back at the main point. Is there anything else that we can look into as far as Indigo?
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do on Indigo. Governance. So now that you've staked INDY, you can go participate in governance. There is currently no active proposals, but if you switch the status to all, you can see that we've had nearly 100 proposals in the past where we've done differing things, and people have voted with their INDY. Sometimes up to 5 million INDY has been used to vote. You can see their proposal number 74, 5.2 million votes. So that's 5.2 million INDY participating in voting.
DAO OPEX, treasury withdrawal. That makes sense.
Yeah, so this is going back to the revenue, the DAO decides where the revenue goes. And so to be able to withdraw funds from the treasury, you have to go through the DAO. And so INDY stakers control where the DAO funds go.
Gotcha. Well, that should be a good primer for everybody to kind of get their feet wet and then discover some other things. Let's take a look. Talk to us about what's going on with Chakra and how that's progressing. And what does this do for us? Is Chakra agents, the AI agents, is that for us to do like everything for us? Or is there going to be specific tasks it can do and can't do?
Yeah, so Chakra really is an all-encompassing agent launchpad. If you have an idea, you want to launch an agent who manages properties on Airbnb.
Okay.
You come into Chakra and you select, this is what I want to do. You put that in. It helps you build your AI agent and launch it. And then on top of that, we are allowing you to tokenize these agents. So you tokenize these agents by by creating a token. So maybe property token.
Yeah.
Right, would be a good moniker. That property token then gets paired with INDY. And as you collect INDY in the bonding curve, you eventually get to graduation once it's hit a set market cap. And then that token then gets released to a DEX where the creator earns trading fees. So really it's a revenue generating AI agent launchpad.
Gotcha.
Very, very, very cool. Yeah.
Very cool. And then when is this going to get rolled out? Because I know that this is not like a let's do this tomorrow type of thing. This might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, we've been building for for 6 months now because we want this thing to be perfect and be very robust when it comes out. We have a lot of features that we're coming out with, from agent workflows and strategies to tokenization to eventually staking to chatting with agents, a whole bunch of things. And so we're seeking within the next 2 months of launching this platform. So by end of October.
End of October.
Yeah, hopefully much sooner.
Well, that's pretty fast because right now it is September 3rd or 4th, 2025. So if we get to the end of October, you're looking at less than 2 months away. So if we can get there, hey, so much the better. All right, guys, we've covered a lot of things in a little bit amount of time. What we'll do is as things progress and we move forward, especially when we get the things rolled out with Airbnb and Vrbo, we'll go through a demo and do that. But I think that's it. Yeah, so thank you to the gentleman from Indigo Protocol. I see that the comment section did not disappoint, as it is very spicy, but that's it for today. So like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. Now, let's get to the Q&A. I'll answer all your questions to the best of my abilities, and we'll go from there. If we got to take off, take off. It is the weekend. Enjoy it. We don't know how long we have on this world. But you want to stick around and talk? Let's do that. And here we go. Wow. Let's see. Ferrari says, not even 100K ADA, Rob. Yeah, not even. It's a Seamus. Let's see. And Alex had a good question. How about these agents? Can they connect to exchanges and have trading view integration? From what I talked to the guys, that is the plan for these agents on Chakra, built on Indigo, which is built on Cardano, to be able to integrate into them so you can have like your own trading bot, but hopefully a super intelligent bot. And that's just one of the aspects of Chakra. Now, for me, I'm not a big trader, as most of you know. I'm just here to help me with my other businesses. I need an AI agent to do that. So we'll see how that works out. It's all about API integration. Again, for me, it's all about for this real estate. And if these short-term rentals, if you can answer people's questions at lightning speed when it happens and be 100% correct in how you're answering them, then of course they're happy. They leave good reviews. Occupancy goes up and you become what's called a super host. When you become a super host in Airbnb and Vrbo, then you get even more bookings, and it just helps out in the grand scheme of things. So if you have great customer service by an AI agent that actually does things and leads people on the right path, your business could double, triple. And I think that's worth its weight in the investments that I'm going to be putting forward. Anyhow, that's it. Rick says, show me one dApp and ADA with more than 100 users. Well, I mean, if you're looking at a decentralized app, but if you look at Indigo itself, they have many a user. I don't know if there's a way to check how many individual users, but I can say, well, first of all, this you can take this either bad or good. I don't know how people are going to take this, but so I went back to stake some more Indigo, and I got this: confirm a new deposit. Too many users are trying to complete the same action. Please wait and retry. I'm like, okay, is that a good thing because there's so many people doing it, or is this a bad thing because they can't even handle that? I mean, it is what it is. But as far as like people, I can't tell you the people individually or the wallets, but I can tell you about the treasury and how much they have. They have about 500,000 ADA, 385,000. And then INDY, the protocol itself, they have over 6.5 million. iETH, $860, that's not that much. iUSD, $9,000, again, not that much. iBitcoin, $2,000. iSol, only $282. So in this regimen, INDY is the clear winner here, but you have to think about, is this where the end all be all? Absolutely not. This is a growing, hopefully, platform, but right now it's looking pretty paltry. All right, and then Janelle says it right. A few months ago, the same exact comments were said about Ethereum. Now it's the hot girl with the red dress, the party. Gotta love the sentiment volatility. And that could be true, but Cardano's got to show something. It's not just about like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we could do. This is what might happen. We got the foundation to do this stuff. It's time to either put up or shut up. And I know Charles Hoskin comes out, he does these AMAs, and it's very fantastic and everything else. But the hard numbers don't lie. I like Cardano. I'd like it to succeed. Got a fat bag of it, which is what it is. I've also got fat bags of other altcoins. I don't care which one wins. I just want one to push forward and the best product to bring the most amount of people. If that's something else, it's something else. If it's Cardano, it's Cardano. I'm not the chooser. I'm not the judge. I'm just the person that says, you know what? I like this for this part. I like that for that part. I'm not going to get emotionally invested. Whichever one wins, so be it. Thunderdome. Let's see which one can actually make it out of the arena. Anyhow, was that too honest? Yeah, maybe so. Rob, who do you got in a fight, LiteCoin or Ben? It's a great question. And this is really comes down to the crux of the situation, what we were talking about today. I had this post, and where did it go? Oh, I said this. As far as like between LiteCoin and Ben, I said, LiteCoin, you're not going to win this one. And this was from LiteCoin, the foundation, which was pretty funny. And it says, LiteCoin says, your head reminds me of the Great Recession. And Ben says, your market cap reminds me of the Great Recession. And then I remember this scene from Rocky IV. And it was where, not Rocky, who was it? It was just getting pummeled. And they say, throw the towel in. I told LiteCoin, just throw the towel in, because this is going to get ugly. And it did. And it was pretty funny. So I have to tell you, if you're looking for entertainment, just go over to X and find that out. Carl Weathers, that's who it was. I can't believe I forgot that. Apollo Creed, yeah, that's it. Apollo Creed, yeah. This is the things we should be talking about. Let's see. Tons of questions. Let me get to the top here. Frosty says I could beat Ben in a thumb wrestling match. That's good. Rob, after strategy rejection, don't you think we need our own version of NASDAQ on the chain? That's a good point. Because for some reason, MicroStrategy was not picked up by the S&P 500, even though it hit the whole criteria for it. And yeah, it's an odd thing, because Robinhood got picked up, and it's in the S&P 500. And then also, just months back, Coinbase was picked up, and it's in the S&P 500. MicroStrategy just got passed over. So I thought it was interesting, and that's a good point. I mean, why couldn't we just do our own S&P 500, but in tech or in crypto? Something to think about. Let's see. Faith doesn't improve your portfolio. Research does. I don't know. Some days, I mean, that's true. The more research you do, but sometimes you just, it's a funny thing about research. You look at all the data that you possibly can, and you grind and you push and you go deeper and deeper. But then there's just this one piece that just escapes you. Before you know it, you're like, oh, didn't know that, or that wasn't revealed, or that was hidden from me. And you know, that one data piece is what pretty much destroys you. Remember how people talked about FTX in 2020, 2021? Like, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried was like the second coming of the greatest investor of all time, and what he did. And he went from that to 6 months later to being the scourge, well, a year later, actually, the scourge of the crypto market, and everybody hated his guts, and he's in jail. And it's one of those things where it's like, you look at that and then people will say, I knew it the whole time. I knew it about him the whole time because of this, this, and this. Really? Let me tell you, you're one of the few, because a lot of people that I talked to were like, hey, there was just some things we didn't know. We did our research into it, but they lied to the SEC. They lied to the people that they gave money to in Congress, which was a lot of people. And they lied to their investors. And we didn't know about it. The data that we got was totally incorrect. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do any research? Obviously not. Try to do as much as you can. But sometimes I just look at it and go, you know, some of this investing is just dumb luck sometimes. You're just like, shoot, that worked out. I can't believe it. Like Pepe coin. You know, there's somebody walking around who's a multi-millionaire because he got into some stupid meme coin. Crazy. I'm sure he wasn't doing a ton of research. Right. Frosty P says the winner between Sol and ADA will be Fartcoin. Exactly. Who's in jail? Well, Sam Bankman-Fried's in jail. And Alex Mashinsky, I believe, is starting to serve his 12 years. Not a moment too soon. Let's see. $2.75. ADA, I'll stop worrying. Sounds good. What is this? I guess strategy is too transparent. There is something about that. Hold on. I just don't understand this. And we talked about this in NFA Live. I like MicroStrategy, I like what they're doing, I like Michael Saylor. Hopefully it all works out. But this is an odd thing about MicroStrategy rejects the proof of reserves for Bitcoin holdings. And this was not like years ago. This was June 8th, 2025, just a couple months ago. At the Bitcoin 2025 conference, Saylor was asked whether MicroStrategy, which holds approximately 580,000 Bitcoin, now it's over 600,000, if they had plans to publish proof of reserves. Saylor's response was, I am not in favor. It dilutes the security of the issuer, custodians, exchanges, and investors. He compared it to publishing the personal information of one's family, suggesting it would not enhance security, but rather expose vulnerability. It's a funny thing because Binance could do it, and Kraken does it, and Coinbase does it. And I know there was another problem where he said, well, you know, we have to have, you know, 1 or 2 people just dedicated to just doing proof of reserves. I'm like, aren't you like $1 billion company? Can't find anybody? I'll do it for you for $500 million. I'm just, but it's weird. Forerunners, nothing but you're cooked. My work here is done. Hello, Kamikaze. Eric David says, hey, Rob, what do you think about borrowing against your Bitcoin to buy a home? What site would you use? I don't really like the idea. I know people have been using it. I think they're using it wrong, though. I think if we understand that Bitcoin could fall 40 to 50%, right? It fell 87% the first round, 2013 and 2015. It fell 85% 2017, 2018. It fell 77% from 2021 to 2022. So let's just say 50%, okay? So if you have 50% of whatever your Bitcoin holdings are, just know that if you're doing collateralized loans, you usually have to put double. So only a quarter of what you own, and even being safer, I would say 20% of what you own in Bitcoin, the dollar amount that what it is now, is what you could possibly get for a loan. So if you're like Bitcoin heavy, sure, but just know that if you're doing like, forget it, Bitcoin's going to turn 50,000 because XYZ influencer said it. And it doesn't go to turn 50, and it actually goes the opposite way. And it starts to drag itself down, and you don't want to get liquidated, then you have to more or over collateralize the loan. It's going to be difficult for you. So if you do it like that, you can, and then if you get liquidated, just know that that's also a capital gains tax. So for this one, Eric, if you do it in a less risky way, sure. As far as like which businesses do it, I can't tell you that because I'm not going to do it. And I would rather not, I'd rather not tell you a random company that does it. And then, you know, what happens to you is you go to that company and for some reason you don't do your own research or you do diligence and you get a loan and then the loan collapses and then you're like, hey, Rob, you told me about this company. And, you know, I got screwed. Now I'm just saying, I don't know the company. And you're going to have to take a look and figure it out on that your own. Sorry. All right. Jesse says, Rob, when do you think crypto will actually be something the everyday person uses in their life? It's been over a decade, and I still have yet to know a single person to ever use a crypto tech. Yeah, I mean, well, you can, I mean, you know, I have my my cell phone and I use World Mobile, the service, and I actually garner World Mobile tokens. So there's one thing right there. I can see it. I think moving forward, I think what you're going to see, and I've always said this before, is stablecoins. Stablecoins is the killer use case. And if you go to any company that's out there, they would gladly, I think, take Bitcoin in a more robust manner. Like look at Steak and Shake. The CEO was talking at the 2025 Bitcoin conference, and he said that their transaction fees actually fell by 50%. And I had to think about that. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Because these Bitcoin fees, when I move it around, it's actually quite pricey. However, it was pricey back in like 2021. Right now, it's relatively cheap. And if they're using the Lightning Network to do it, then it'd be even cheaper doing it that way. I will tell you this, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than what they use with credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, because that's at least, I mean, you're looking at roughly 3%, and some tack on like 30 cents or 29 cents per transaction. So I always said that that will be the killer use case. And I think if these companies, restaurants, leisure, online shopping, they say, hey, we accept stable coins for these chains, and we'll give you like a 1% discount because you save 1%, they save 2% because they don't have to pay the transaction fees. Then I think it's a win-win for everybody. I don't know how they're going to be able to roll that in for fraud detection. So I don't know. So how long is it going to take? It's going to take a while, but I think it can happen. What is that? Dale says, when is the next final deadline for Solana ETF? Let's find out. When is the next deadline? October 16th. And that is for Bitwise and 21 shares. So that's what we have. But there is a, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there is a Solana ETF right now. It is, let's see, ETF flows. That's Ethereum. That's Bitcoin. There's the Solana ETF. I mean, it's not doing too great, but remember when Ethereum ETF came out, everyone was making fun of it? And now all of a sudden it's like, the darling of all ETFs. So yeah, whatever. Look at that, 195 million. That's still pretty good. REX Osprey. Yeah, Eric says, thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'd only do it during the bear market up to 20% to be safe, and the site use seems like the biggest risk. Yeah, I don't know which one it is. You'd think banks would get into that. Steve is up and up. I hope so. Robin, any update with Steven reopening San Juan Smokers? I don't know, but I'll be back next week, so I hope he opens it up by then. I haven't heard too much about it. Have you been down there lately? We gotta go down there. When I get back, we'll do a little meet and greet. More runner, you're a fool. Andrew says, Rob, please interview the Strike team next. They're consistently doing 70% of all Cardano volume. And Steve-O, who I'm pretty sure is a fat bag of Solana. Solana has a lot of great DeFi protocols such as Jupe, Jito, Camino, Marinade, great games like Star Atlas, and Decimated. Great alpha IDs like Hive Map and Runner. Yeah, true. They're doing good. And then Forerunner says, nobody's using these, bro. Well, that's not true. I mean, the DEX, well, let's see, actually. I don't know. Maybe Forerunner's right. DeFi Llama. So, revenue by chain protocols. Well, I will say, I mean, somebody's using Jupiter because Over 30 days, they've raised 27, almost $28 million. So, I mean, it is what it is. Pump, which is, just all dirty meme coins, $52 million. They say that retail is not here. Maybe they are here, but they're just getting drained by VCs. Revenue over 30 days is 52 million. And in a week, it's been 12 million. That's insane. Axiom. How about Phantom? Phantom Wallet. Geez, $16 million. That's pretty good. So, I mean, I could agree with you, Rana, if it was just like, wallets and active addresses and all that stuff that can be manipulated. But if you're talking about revenue, it is what it is. Someone's paying something. Hello. Strike team. Nice. Strike is awesome. Jay's Wally says, what's your opinion on Midnight? Does it have enough potential to drive Cardano further and increase users on chain? Sure. I mean, if you like protection and you don't want people to, like, when we're doing like we were just talking about stable coins, what a pain it would be to send somebody a payment of like $20 and then they're able to take a look at that wallet address and go, hey, you have $20 million? Looks like it's a nice time for a wrench attack for you, my friend. So, I mean, stuff like that I think could be pretty big. I would use that. Used by bots, triple what? I would look at the same amount where he did. Sell. So this is Cardano and the revenue, like I said, Indigo, 30 days, 143,000. That's pretty good. Oh, this is Strike Finance. Oh, okay. Derivatives, revenue in 24 hours, 2,600. 7 days, 240,000. Hold on. What we should do is just look at that. I don't know how the heck this is negative 41,000, but okay. Levy Finance has 19,000. YAM4 has $4,778. There you go. Bodega Market, it's a prediction market. Hey, it's pretty good. $14,400 in 30 days. I'll take that. But yeah, that's what we got. So I don't make the rules, man. I'm just letting you guys know this is the data. Crypto Steve-O is so threatened by Cardano, but I guarantee he still claims Midnight tokens. I don't know. I didn't claim him. Maybe Steve-O, maybe everybody else did. I just didn't want to connect my wallet to a website and deal with that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give it back to the community. And whatever I don't collect, that goes to you guys if you want to collect it. So I'm just not going to do it. Bots don't like using it on chain compared to the millions on Solana. Yeah. We need a better API. What do you think about Pith and Oracle? Hey, I think it was Pith, which is the Oracle on Solana. Correct me in the comment section. I think that was one of two oracles, the other one being Chainlink, to put US GDP or US economic data on. So congratulations to Pith. I think it was 10 other chains as well, but you had two oracles, Chainlink and Pith. That's a nice feather in the cap, right? Joseph says, I didn't claim them. It looked too sketchy and it shouldn't be as large as it is. I'm talking about Midnight. And Go says, Cardano, what a joke. See, my channel, I like to run a little bit differently. I like to read out the comments and post the comments of everything, positive or negative. Unless you're shilling some trash coin I've never heard of, then I don't talk about it. But if you have negative comments about my bags, I'll still talk about it. If you say positive, I'll talk about it. Because at the end of the day, we just all trying to do our best. I still say that the future is multi-chain, and if your chain is good enough, projects will build on it. Makes sense, right? Let's see. And then I think Andrew says, is Cardano being suppressed or is everything else being inflated? Those numbers are unjustifiable in an efficient market. That's the question. Who knows? There was, listen to this. Where did it go? The Bitwise chief investment officer. Let me see. Let me share my screen. Okay. Share my tab, I should say. And as far as like suppression, I found this interesting. This is Matt Hogan, the Bitwise asset manager. He says Bitcoin should be at 200,000 by now. I don't know how people feel about this, but it seems like that's the consensus is that Bitcoin shouldn't be staying this level, 110, 111, 109,000. It should be taking off a little bit more, especially with the dollar weakening. Talks about rate cuts, which I do think now we're going to get at least a 25 basis point cut, and liquidity going up in the United States M2 money supply and the global M2 money supply. There's really no reason for it to be at this point. Just take a listen to this. Let's see what Matt has to say on this topic.
Positive news, and it's just been buried sort of in the background. We've caused ourselves to ignore it. There's the strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's the SEC pulling back on essentially every lawsuit. There's progress on stablecoin legislation. There's talk of market structure legislation. There was the White House crypto summit. These are game-changing positive developments that should put Bitcoin trading at $150,000 or $200,000 today. It's been suppressed because in the short term, this overhang of the economic uncertainty is weighing on the markets. I think if that is released, we're at new all-time highs quickly, and we're on our way to where I think we'll be at the end of the year, which is Bitcoin 200,000. So I think there's been this sort of suppression of really good news. If that suppression is removed, I think it's a coiled spring. So in that scenario, I think we do exceptionally well.
Is there anything else that needs to happen to get us to Bitcoin at 200K by the end of the year?
I don't think so. You have these three horsemen of insatiable demand for Bitcoin. You have the ETFs, which I continue to think will have strong net flows this year. You have companies. We saw MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. I think the number of companies buying Bitcoin is going to triple this year. I think game theory is on. It's slower than people maybe want in this impatient crypto world, but I think countries around the world are going to be buying Bitcoin. So there is structurally more demand than supply in Bitcoin. I think all we need is to release this sort of economic gloom that's hanging over us. If we do that, I think it's straight to the race.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I mean, that's nice. It's a good theory. But you're telling me that the reason why Bitcoin is staying at this even kilter is just because the news is being suppressed? I mean, maybe, I suppose, but it just seems like if you just take a look at futures and liquidations, and this is what some of the guys over in Puerto Rico show me, is it seems like Binance and a couple of big exchanges, they tend to fluctuate and manipulate their side so they can liquidate either the shorts or longs. Then it kind of keeps it in that even kilter range. So I'm not going to buy that just some news that people are like a little frightened about economic news. If that was the case, then gold wouldn't have gone up to its all-time high. So like, to me, Bitcoin is gold 2.0. So why wouldn't the smarter money just take a look at that and go, oh, that's it? I think there's something going on at another level. I could be wrong. Let's see. That's a good question. Jimmy G says, anyone have some data on iTRUST Bitcoin holdings? Let's find out. Well, let's. And this. Learn center. Ooh, let's do a search. I know it's here somewhere. I can't find it at this point. Sorry. Let's find out. Hold on. I'm going to log into my account because I know it's there somewhere. So what we're doing is we're taking a look and seeing if iTRUST puts out their Bitcoin reserves. Let's see. 1 second. Oh, look at that. Password 12345. That's it. Everybody don't share that. Okay. Ooh, doing pretty good in this one. Statements and taxes. References. Damn it. I can't find it. I know it was here. Oh, well, when I find it, I'll let everybody know. Sorry about that. Usually I'm pretty good at that. Exactly. If only I had an AI agent. Was shocked we would get on it. Brian says, tomorrow the Bitcoin price will surge. Everyone will be happy again until the next pullback. It's very true. Yeah, it's been an hour. I gotta get out of here. Apparently Tether was selling Bitcoin and buying gold, opposite flow. But I see many contradictory news blurbs. Yeah, true. Although I will tell you, gold's done pretty good so far, especially this year. I wonder which one has outdone the other one. I want to say that I think gold is up, I want to say 38% since the beginning of the year. However, if it's all time frames, like over 1 year. Let me do that. So as of September 6, 2024, Bitcoin was 53,000. And today it's 110,000. So I guess it just depends on that time frame. But that is interesting. Tether getting the gold. I can see why. You can now buy gold. Bitcoin's done better than gold. I think it's done better than gold in a year time frame. But I think specifically, like people will say, well, it's 7.5 months. Like, fine, whatever, 7.5 months. Sonic says, just tuning in. I only do silly things the crypto market when nothing's moving. That's a good way to end this. Remember, everybody, usually you can make more by doing nothing. That's pretty much it. So there's really not much to do right now in September. We knew September's going to suck. It's going to be boring, sideways, maybe a little bit of a dump. But we'll see what happens on September 17th. If we get 25 basis points, I still say that the market hasn't priced it in totally. You'll still see a little bit of a bump up. And then Q4 is pretty good. If we get 50 basis points, it'll be a nice September. This will be one of the few that's out there. That's it for tonight. So look, thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your weekend. Adios.